Entertainment World Soldier here, and I'm back to talk about Star Wars: The Clone Wars, Season 7, Episode 6, Deal, No Deal, and my thoughts on it. I didn't like it. Again, I know it's a fair episode. I know this episode is leading us into the next one, but there were problems in this episode for me. I think the writing was a bit weird in this episode. Like, I didn't agree with what certain characters did. I also didn't agree that certain characters wouldn't know about certain things. I mean, it just seemed like they were throwing out just certain bad guys and certain other people just for the fun of it. And I don't think they really thought about, the lore that much either. I mean, Rafa and Trace live on 1313 and they don't know about this gangster group. Well, Trace doesn't. And then we get like a whole speech about Trace doing loads of deals with people. It's like, she must have heard of this gang before. And I won't go into the gang yet, but I don't know, I just didn't like that. And Trace also was the dumbest person in this episode. She acts like a child most of the time, and then she just does something really ridiculous. I mean, when she did that in this when she did the thing in the episode, oh god. If you've watched the episode, you know what I mean when I say Trace did something really stupid. And god, I just couldn't believe what she did. I couldn't do it. I mean, I couldn't believe it. It just, you had so many options, Trace. You had so many options. That was the last thing you should have done. But I'll get into that into spoilers. But there were good scenes. I did actually like the fact what planets we went to. And I also like the fact they did bring something back into Star Wars canon about, oh no, this is a spoiler, Kessel, being a certain planet and not being what they said in Solo, which was ridiculous in my opinion, about fucking Kessel being a bloody fuel depot when it's actually, and I'm going to go into a little bit of spoilers here, but Kessel's a spice planet, drugs. It's not a fucking garage. It's a place where you dig for spice. And in this episode, they brought that back, which I can respect and I fucking love because that is what Kessel is. Just because just because Disney doesn't want to bring up the fact there are drugs in the world of Star Wars, doesn't mean it isn't true. There are drugs in the Star Wars world, and Kessel is pretty much the main planet to get that stuff from. So I'm very glad they brought that back in Star Wars canon. And I don't think that was Disney, I think that was George Lucas. Like, Disney has fucked around with a lot of these episodes, but George Lucas has had a hand in writing most of them. So I will give it credit for that. Overall, I thought the episode, it was a bit slow at some points. There were just stupid scenes, people doing absolutely dumb stuff. And the overall story, it was okay, but again, getting to the end point was just, certain parts just ridiculous. So I'm going to give my rating now. My rating out of 10 is 6. I think it's a 6. I think if you're a Star Wars fan, you'll enjoy the episode. But if you're like me and you are a Star Wars fan, you are going to get a bit pissed off with certain scenes and people just acting stupid. So that's my non-spoiler review. So if you don't want to hear any more, you want to watch the episode, please come back and watch. But let's go into spoilers now. So why don't we start with the start of the episode. So the episode starts off with Ahsoka and Trace fixing Trace's ship. Trace asks Ahsoka where she trained to fix ships. Ahsoka brings up that she was at an academy called Skywalker Academy. Trace then explains why, there's no academies around here for her to go to because, there's no academies. And even if there were, she couldn't afford them. She also talked about her parents. Apparently they left her and Rafa to, I don't know, I didn't really explain that, but they left Rafa and Trace. Were left in the garage that they're in. We then hear what Trace has called the ship, which was the Silver Angel. That's what she calls her ship. Trace then tries to find out more about Ahsoka, but Ahsoka's kind of trying to keep her identity very low right now. But then Rafa comes in and tells them that they've got a job and that she needs Trace's ship to do the job. Trace is excited about this. She gets her ship ready, and Ahsoka. And this is what I'm talking about by just stupid shit. It's like, Rafa, why are you asking your sister to do this job? Because again, if you watch the episode, you know what she's asking her sister to do. Like, you hire other people to help you with this, then put your sister in this position. And then her sister asks Ahsoka to help. And why didn't Rafa say no? Ahsoka can't come. And then Ahsoka pretty much says, I mean, that's what she should have said. Ahsoka shouldn't come. But Rafa capitulates and lets Ahsoka come with. And Ahsoka and Rafa asks, why are you coming with us? And Ahsoka pretty much says, because I want to keep you out of trouble. And then we get the scene where the ship finally lifts off and flies out from the underworlds and heads off to space. Now in this next scene we see Ahsoka asking Trace, has she flown before? Trace kind of tells her, nah, this is the first time she's ever flown. Which seems to be very weird, because I don't think you could just jump into it. I mean, personally, when I couldn't jump into a car right now and just drive it unless I had a lot of lessons. And I mean, I can, but I don't know. If you've not practiced driving, you're not just going to pick it up like that. So hearing Trace kind of say she hasn't done this before, it just seemed a bit weird to me. But anyway, that's Star Wars for you. So the ship's going up into space, but the problem is Trace has accidentally headed into a military lane, and you get Admiral Yularen pretty much telling the ship to get the hell out of the military lane because against the law. And Ahsoka's continuously telling Trace, get out of the military lane, get out of the military lane, if you don't want to get into trouble. And Trace's like saying, nah, it's fine, it's fine. It's like, it just seems weird. Like, why would you want to bring attention to yourself? Like, why the fuck isn't Rafa grabbing the steering wheel and throwing them somewhere else? I mean, you've got like a shitload of space to go into, yet you're staying in the military lane to piss off the military. It just seems stupid to me. Get the fuck out of the lane fast. But yeah, so they fly out of the military lane. Trace does it. Admiral Lauren tries to warn them again, and then this is the best bit, I kind of think. Anakin appears, and apparently, I think he feels Ahsoka's presence, and Ahsoka feels his presence, but Anakin lets them go. Lauren double checks with him should he send a boarding party to take them in. He says no. And so Rafa, Trace, and Ahsoka head off into hyperspace to head to Kessel. So they head off. They make it to Kessel. Kessel did look weird because it looked a lot greener than I remember, but they kind of explain it in the episode. But they land. They get meted by this royal person. Apparently, the Kessel has a royal family involved on it. Not sure how that's possible, but okay. And Rafa is trying to make a deal with the king to deliver things to a certain group. And in this person invites everybody to a dinner. They accept. Trey seems very excited. She's acting pretty much like a 5-year-old, in my opinion. She's like, I just couldn't believe it. Like, why are you so excited to go to this dinner? I was like, calm down. Why isn't Rafa telling her sister, be professional? It's like, why is she doing this? She's acting stupid. You're not 5. I think you're supposed to be 18 or 20 or something. And I'm not fucking that bad. Jesus. But anyway, they get invited to the dinner. Rafa is talking to the client about the delivery. He kind of confirms, like, yes, we're going to give you this amount of spice. Ahsoka overhears this. She tries to ask so many questions. Rafa's trying to cover, like, say, yes, we'll be able to do this delivery. We've got no problems with it. But Ahsoka, again, she's asking more questions. When she finds out it's spice, come on. She pretty much knows what this deal is. By the end of episode, we all know what. I mean, not Buddy. By this point, we all know what the hell this spice is going to be sold for. It's not going to be medical stuff, which apparently is what spice can be turned into. But I didn't know that. It was kind of funny to find out. But Rafa accepts a job again. They get led off to their ship. And Ahsoka keeps going on about the fact that this is pretty bad. Most people don't use spice for medical stuff. They mainly use it to hurt people. Rafa tries to remind her this is her deal. This is going to make us money. And again, Ahsoka seems to forget that these two need to make money. This is not a Jedi temple anymore. You don't just get through life with a Jedi paying everything for you. They need to make money. This deal could make them a lot of money. All it is a pickup and delivery. Even Trace, even much Rafa says, if we don't do this again, somebody else will do this. And again, they're not rich people, Ahsoka. They can't just skip these kind of deals just because it's bad. If they need money and they want to make a lot of it, sometimes you've got to do a lot of bad stuff. So again, I'm kind of getting a bit pissed off with Ahsoka trying to always push her beliefs onto Trace and Rafa. Now Trace, I think, is open to it, but I think Rafa's more realistic. I think she's had to go through the real world, where Trace, I think she's covered Trace from it. So I think I would have liked to have seen a scene between her and Ahsoka, with Rafa pretty much telling her, like, I don't know where you've come from, but this is how things really work. And Ahsoka pretty much accepting that and thinking, well, yeah, that's probably how things work outside the Jedi Temple. So Trace lifts off. We head off to the other part of the planet where it looks more like Kessel. If you've seen Solo movie, you start recognising stuff. And then Trace kind of wonders about all the robots working on the ground. Ahsoka then tells her they're not robots, they're people. This is a slave. There are a bunch of slaves on the ground, you know, digging up spice to send out to the galaxy. And I liked this bit. Not because I like slavery or something, but it kind of confirms what the fuck spice is and what Kessel is. Kessel is not a fuel planet. It is a drug planet. And it just reminds me of the stupidity of Solo. Trying to say that they're going to go to a fucking planet to get gas. I mean, fuck off. It's a drugs planet. Fucking Solo was a drug dealer, technically. You know, that's what he was doing. That's what this planet is called. This is what this planet is for. It's not a good planet. It's a drugs planet. So, I had to respect the writers for that. I liked that. I like how they're not trying to babyfy Star Wars. Because again, Star Wars is supposed to be for everybody. So they land. They pick up the delivery. Ahsoka starts questioning more and more, and starts to scare Trace. They fill up the ship. Rafa tries to calm both of them down and say, listen, we're making this deal, it's not going to be really bad. And she keeps not telling Ahsoka who the people they're giving this to are. So the ship lifts up, they head off into hyperspace. Ahsoka then starts questioning again, who are we selling this to? We could sell this to somebody nice who is going to turn it into medical supplies for people. Rafa keeps trying to tell her, we've made this deal, if we screw this deal we'll be in trouble. And again, this is what I get so annoyed about Ahsoka. She keeps thinking that, like, they've already accepted the deal. If they screw the deal up and head to somebody else, they're in big trouble. Now the king of Kessel isn't going to be happy that the delivery he's paid her for, or the delivery he's arranged with this other client, doesn't get delivered because he then looks bad. And so will Rafa and Trace. I mean, Ahsoka just doesn't, to me in this episode, just makes stupid decisions. Like, they've accepted the deal. Just do the deal, and then Ahsoka, maybe tell somebody that the person you've given this stuff to has this. And maybe the Republic will deal with it. But again, the Republic is dealing with a massive war right now. And if you know your history about war, countries normally deal with the crimes after the war's finished, because there's bigger issues right now. So Rafa unfortunately tells Ahsoka who the other client is. It's the Pykes. Now, if you don't know who the Pykes are another gangster group, like a big gangster group, probably behind the Hutts and the Black Sun, but they are a major crime family. And Ahsoka then goes crazy, says we can't handle the Pykes are going to kill us, the Pykes are then going to take Trace's ship. Trace then starts getting scared. And again, I get pissed off at this, like, how can Trace not know about the Pykes? I mean, it just seems really, like, you're on 1313. Have you never heard of the Pykes? That's like asking someone, have you never heard of the Italian Mafia? Or the Russian Mafia? Or the Mexican drug cartels? It's like, that knowledge should be known to you if you live in that sort of area. She doesn't. So we just get a scene where Trace starts weirding out and going crazy, not understanding who the Pykes are, and then Ahsoka keeps talking about they're going to take your ship, they're going to hurt us or kill us. Raph is trying to calm Trace down, and then Trace does something completely stupid. She opens up the doors to her ship, she throws out all the spice, and says, there, it's all done now, we don't have to worry. It's like, what are you doing? Trace, you've just wasted all of that. Like, what the fuck, what was the plan? What, just to drop all the spice and then leave and go somewhere? You've just pissed off both sides now. The fucking Kessel and the Pykes. And the Pykes are a crime family. They're not going to let us go. Rafa then goes nuts and says, what have you done? This is stupid. I mean, God's sake. I still don't get it. Like, you had so many options. Even Ahsoka's going like, what have you done? It's like, this was a mistake. You should not have just dropped all the spice out of the airlock. It's ridiculous. Again, Rafa's trying to calm down the situation, but also pretty much realising that they're screwed, and then pretty much tells Ahsoka, like, what's your plan now? What do we do now? It's like, well, she didn't know this was going to happen, which I can give respect to fucking Ahsoka for saying. It's like, not even she said to fucking dump the spice. So Ahsoka comes up with a plan. She says, okay, listen, all we have to do is give the Pykes something. They don't have to look into the boxes. We can just tell them that they actually have the spice. So Rafa agrees, but says this is a bad plan, but it's the best we've got. They land at the Pykes planet, and the Pykes arrive. The Pykes want to check the boxes. Well, the leader of the Pykes wants to check the boxes. Ahsoka then mind controls him and tells him, you don't need to see inside the boxes. You're just going to give us the money, we can leave. He agrees. He hands over the money to Rafa. Rafa starts saying thank you and I hope you do well and whatever. She starts talking nonsense. Trace tells Ahsoka to go start the ship up, which didn't make sense to me. I think Trace should have been the one to start up the ship, because the second guy in the Pykes says we need to check the boxes because they could be screwing us. And Ahsoka doesn't mind trick him again. Well, not him. Mind trick this guy. So he checks the boxes. He can't open them. He's asking Rafa to open the boxes. Rafa's just talking nonsense again. And then he just fires at the boxes. And then they open and it shows it's empty. It's like, again, why did Ahsoka go start the ship, Trace? You should have started off. And Ahsoka should have mind-fooled them all. Mind-tricked them all. It's like, what the hell? Again, this part was so stupid to me. It's like, you're going there with nothing, but Ahsoka leaves in the middle of the fucking deal to go start the ship. No, she should have been there next to Rafa, mind-tricking them and then getting the hell out of there. But then they open the boxes, there's nothing there. They pretty much seize the ship. Trace tries to escape, but they're caught in a tractor beam. And then the Pykes are surround them with ships and the episode ends. And the end of the episode, and it just seems stupid to me. There was loads of options here, but to have Trace just dump all the spice and then have Ahsoka not mind trick the other guy, it just seems stupid. She mind tricks one guy but doesn't mind trick the other guy. Again, it was just a dumb episode. There are problems, and I do kind of think this is the worst episode I've seen in this series so far. They had to explain more, in my opinion, and they needed to to have Trace not know about the Pykes, to have Rafa not tell Ahsoka not to come. It just didn't make sense. They should have had Rafa being more, a boss in this episode. She should have tried to talk Ahsoka down more, because I don't know. This episode seemed like a bit of a mess to me, and it was all just to have the Pykes catch Ahsoka, Rafa, and Trace. I mean, in this episode, they could have just had Ahsoka, Trace, and Rafa delivering spice to somebody else. But they just could have the Pykes capture the ship, and that's how the episode ends. Like, the Pykes hired pirates to capture the ship. The pirates bring the ship to the Pykes, and that's how they're all captured. This just seems stupid to me. So that's the end of my review. Sorry it's late. I know I've got to get better at that. But again, if you like my video, give it a like. If you dislike my video, give it a dislike. And do comment below and tell me, did you like this episode? And do you think I'm being a bit too picky on this episode? Do you think it was an okay episode? Please tell me. And do think about subscribing to my channel. It's Entertainment Mod Soldier. Bye.